If you're new to the page, I just want to welcome you. I am Julie Samako, owner of Southern Charm Wreaths, where we make beautiful wreaths and we also teach you how to make and sell them. So in this video, it's my business tips for the week. I want to just go over some 10 mistakes most Etsy sellers make. So we did a shop critique in my Success Circle group, which is my business group this month, and just about every one of them were making the same mistakes. So I thought I'd come on here and just go over with you the top 10 mistakes that I see most Etsy shop owners making. So you have to keep in mind that when you open up an Etsy shop, it's not as easy as you think, okay? So there is a system to it. There are certain things that you must do. You can't just upload your beautiful items and wait for people to come by. That's not how Etsy works. There's a lot of things that you have to factor in, including what they call SEO. So if you're new to selling online, you're probably thinking, what the heck is SEO? SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. Basically, it boils down to how to get found. All right, so we go to Google and we type in something. Let's say we type in red shoes. Well, we're going to get a lot of information about red shoes, aren't we? But let's say we need red shoes for prom, so we're going to type in red shoes for prom. Now that search from shoes to red shoes, okay, let's say shoes from red shoes and then red shoes to prom narrows down the search results that Google shows to you. So you have to do the same thing with your Etsy shop. Those words that we put in Google, shoes for prom, are called keywords. Those are what we have to incorporate into our Etsy shop in order to get found. Because think about it. The algorithm for Etsy right now does not look at the photos. It looks at the words for you to show up in searches. So when a customer goes in and types in spring wreath for front door, looking for a wreath, and you don't have spring wreath for front door as a keyword, you're not going to get shown. If you are just uploading your beautiful wreaths or your Afghans or whatever you're making onto Etsy and you're coming up with your own cutesy names, Blue Moon Rising Wreath or, something like that, that's not going to help you. That's not going to help you get found in search results. You must use words that are your shoppers are using. Okay, so I'm going to go through that in just a few minutes. Hi, Kathleen. How are you? Welcome. Welcome, Lynette. All right, so these are my top 10 tips. Are you ready? For Etsy shop owners. I've gone over this with my Success Circle group, and I've also gone in it through with my Wreath of the Month Club, but I really feel compelled to come on here and help everybody succeed on Etsy. And then this will also give you a little taste of what I do offer in my groups. All right, so the first thing that I see Etsy shop owners not doing is completely filling out their Etsy shop. If you don't have your shop policies completely filled out, guess what? Etsy is going to ding you for that. They're going to hinder you being seen to your to the shoppers. So go through, fill out everything. If they give you a place to put a video, guess what? I want you to put a video. If they give you a place to put an image, guess what? I want you to put an image. I want you to fill out everything possible. You know that big pretty cover photo? I want you to put something there. That's prime real estate. But make sure when you do put your photos in that you go to your mobile device and you look at it on your mobile phone. You want to make sure that you're seeing what your buyers are seeing. It might look really pretty on the desktop, but then you open it up on your mobile device and it doesn't look so good. So you want to make sure that it looks good on both mobile and your computer or laptop. So fill everything out. The About section. Why did you get started? What inspires you? Put some keywords in there. Your cover photo, I said that you're going to have your shop name, everything you're going to fill out, okay? Because if you don't fill it out, you're just leaving business on the table, all right? And so I just want you to incorporate everything Etsy offers you. Can't wait for them to add more video. I hope they do that soon. All right, so that's tip number 1, completely fill out your Etsy shop. Tip number 2, make sure you have clickable, cohesive looking product images. What does that mean? I mean, you can't, it's harder for, if a buyer is going to your shop and they see an image, that's dingy or hard to see or blurry, or there's not enough images, they're not going to make the sale. Also, keep in mind that when you do get down those keywords and you're being found in search results, a lot of times images are so dark and blurry and dingy that people don't even want to click on them. So you want clickable images, you want bright, you want to see the product, what are they going to get? Sometimes if you stage it, you get better click-through rates. So in other words, instead of just putting a wreath on a door, put it on, a mantle, hang it over a mirror, prop it up on a fireplace, do some other different ways to stage your wreath or your products so that it's a little bit more clickable. People might want to click into it. That's what I mean clickable. You want people to click. So I'm going to show, if I can figure out how to share my screen, I wanted to share with you this shop, and I love her shop, and whenever I train anybody how to do Etsy, I always pull up her shop because she's just rocking it. So I'm just going to show you a shop that has beautiful shop photos really quickly, very cohesive, meaning they all look the same. If you just give me a quick second to open it up. All right. Share my screen. Just give me a quick sec. And I am on monitor 2. Share. Okay. This is not the one. I'm sorry, I went to the wrong one. Here we go. Here. Okay, so Kali, sorry, Kali, I'm always showing your your Etsy shop. If you sell wreaths, look at this. All right, do you see the background? It's a chippy door. It's got really pretty, vibrant colored photos. You can see the whole design in that one icon of that product image. It's just very pretty. I love the chippy door look. So that to me is what I say has a cohesive look. Also, if you're selling bath bombs, look at this. Do you see how all the images have this one background? I like that. That's cohesiveness. But then if you go down here, it's got all of these different images that are very bright, colorful, a lot of white on the background. That to me is a cohesive look as well. So that's what I mean is when you want to have a cohesive look for your items. All right, so other things that I want to show you or to encourage you to do. So that was, let's see, what tip was I on? So a cohesive shop look with your product images is tip number 2. So tip number 3, use all or most of your Etsy shop photos. So for example, Etsy gives you, I think, 10 photo slots. You want to use as many of those as you can. It doesn't have to be 10 individual photos. It could be 5 individual photos, and then you duplicate 4, duplicate 2 or 3, duplicate another 2 or 3 in order to fill them up. Because what's going to happen is when you put in your key-rich title for that product, it's going to attach it to that image. So anybody who's going into Google and looking for a spring summer wreath, you're going to have 10 images that fit that keyword. spring summer wreath. Does that make sense? So you want to incorporate as many photos as you can and making sure you have your keywords down. So use as many photos. Zoom in, zoom out, crop, not crop, take from the side, take from, staging it on, like I said, all the different areas you can stage your products. How can users see your product being used? The more information you give them, the better chances you have of making the sale. All right, so let's see. That was tip number 3. So tip number 4 for your Etsy shop, the mistakes that most people make, is to do your keyword research. So we talked about keywords just a few minutes ago in the beginning of the series. Let me share the beginning of this video. Let me just share my screen one more time, and I will show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're over here on my other screen, and I just want to show you when I put in summer wreath. Here's what comes up: 30,000 results. Do you have a chance to get seen? Very slim chance, okay? But they do give you these keywords up at the top of the screen, which you can use, because these keywords up here are what shoppers are already using. But I wanted to show you, when I typed in summer wreath, do you see how it drops down right here? These are all keywords buyers are already using. Why not see if they work for you and use the same ones? All right, so we have summer wreath right here. But let's say we type in summer wreath, which we already saw. It had 30,000 results, and we have a slim chance of getting seen. What if we typed in that summer wreath for door? Hey, our wreath is for a door. Maybe that will work. Let's look at that. We get 24,000. All right, so it's not quite 30, but there's 24,000 results. Still, we're going to have a hard time getting seen because, listen, I'm just saying, if I'm a shopper, I'm going to scroll down, and do you think any buyer is going to go through 250 pages of reads? They're not. They're probably going to go through the first 3 or 4, and then they're going to say, okay, I'm not finding what I want. So either they're going to buy what they see from those pages, or they're going to try to refine their search results. All right, so let's go. Instead, let's think of something else we could do. So let's say we do, let's see, there's for front door. All right, so summer wreath for front door. We matches what we are selling, and it does narrow it down. So now we've got 11,000. Do you see how I'm using my keywords and I'm coming up with ways in order to narrow down the search in order to have a better chance of getting seen? Listen, I know a lot of you are thinking, yeah, but there's so many, there's a lot of results. There are a lot of results, but the chances of you being found through all of the noise is too great. Instead, narrow it down as much as you possibly can. So let's think about this. All right, so let's say we have a grapevine wreath, and let's just type that in. Summer grapevine wreath comes up. We're working. And let's say we click on summer grapevine wreaths for front door. Jackpot! Do you see how now I've got my results are 2,800? It's even less. So if I'm using summer wreath for a keyword and I have to compete with 30,000 other results, versus I have summer grapevine wreaths for front door as my keyword, I'm only going to have to compete with 2,800. Do you see? I'm upping my chances of being found through all of the noise. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. And if you can narrow that down even further, that would be good. So it's good to have some keywords that are, for example, if I switch over, let's see if I can find my Etsy shop right here. So for example, if I have my main keyword at the beginning of my title, then I can find other keywords. I could also use summer wreath for like maybe part of the second word, keyword in my title. Then I'm going to put a comma, and I'm going to put another keyword, and then I'm going to put a comma and another keyword. So my title right here should have tons of keywords in it. Remember, I just showed you how to find the keywords. So do the same thing until you get several different versions of keywords to go into your title. And I don't mean one word. I mean long tail keywords, meaning multiple words. So for example, summer wreath with bow, that's a long tail keyword. All right, so that's how you can find the keywords that people are already using. All right, so the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about was tip number 5. Use the keywords in your shop title. Let me go back to sharing my screen again and show you other places. You're going to use them in your title. You're going to use them in your description. You're going to use them in your the first paragraph of your product description. You're going to use them really everywhere. All right, so for example, again, give me a second to share the screen. So if we go back over here, I've got, you see how I've got my keyword summer wreath with bow? Down here, summer wreath with bow. This is in the first sentence of my paragraph. So when people are looking for a summer wreath with bow, this right here, this paragraph is what's going to be shown as their meta. It's their meta description, and it's very important. Let's just put it that way. All right. So this first paragraph is what's going to show up in Google. So you want to have keywords. So I've got summer wreath with bow in my first sentence. Front door, that's a keyword for wreaths, is right there. Let's see, I'm mentioning the tiger lilies and spring and summer oval wreath. You know, that's a key, those are keywords. So sympathy wreath, that's a keyword. So I'm making sure that I'm incorporating those keywords that I found in that first paragraph of my description. I'm also putting a few keywords throughout the description to help on Etsy search results. And I'm putting all of those same keywords down here in the tags of my product. They have to go all 3 places. They have to be on the title, they have to be in the first paragraph of your description, and they have to be included in your tags. So when that happens, guess what? Etsy says that this wreath or this image or this product is relevant for the keywords summer wreath with bow. Does that make sense? So I'm hoping that this is helping you guys. Just giving you a little, tips on some of the mistakes that I see Etsy shop owners making. All right, so the other thing that people are making is they're not incorporating, we did tip number 6 was keywords should not have a lot of competition. We did that. And tip number 7 was the most important keywords should go first. So the words that you want to rank for on your product should go in the beginning of the title, all right, and the first paragraph of the description. And listen, don't just put a paragraph of the description. That's when I'm going to be going in to tip number 8. You want to put at least 300 words, you guys. You want to tap into a buyer's emotions. So, y'all, ladies, listen up. Listen, Linda. Listen. You know that show that they always do. When we go shopping for shoes, do we need them? No. Do we want them? Yes. But why do we want them? Well, because we want to look good. We have an event to go to, or we want to look hot for our husbands, or we just need something comfortable to walk around. We don't want to have blisters. There's different reasons why. You have to tap in to those emotions, because buyers don't buy things they don't need as a necessity unless they're fulfilling some type of emotional need, okay? So for example, I need a loaf of bread for sandwiches to feed my children. That's a necessity. I need a gallon of milk. We've got to drink and have calcium and stuff like that. That's food. We need, water. Those are needs. A wreath, not a need. It's a necessity. It's a luxury. An Afghan for our bed, luxury. New shoes, luxury. Bath bombs, luxury. What else? Jewelry, luxury. They're not something we need. So we have to then start tapping into an emotion for a buyer. You can't just list out keywords and say it measures 24 by 24 by 8 and be done with it. You've got to say, ladies, I know you're working hard and you want to come home and enjoy your house. You want to have a beautiful entryway to greet your family and friends with. Well, let me help you do that. We have wreaths that can help you make your entryway beautiful, one to be proud of, one to wow the neighbors and be the best one on the block. Something like that. When you start tapping into an emotion, let me help you take the stress off of decorating for the holidays. I've got the perfect wreath for you. Just hang it on your door and then put some pre-potted ferns on either side, and I've helped you decorate. I know you're busy. You can't do it all. You're not expected to, but you deserve to have a beautifully decorated home for the holidays. I'm here to help you. This wreath will help you. Things like that. That's what I'm talking about. Tapping into a buyer's emotions, helping them. How is that product going to help them? You've got to tell them. How is it going to make their life easier? How is it going to improve their day? Make sure all of that is mentioned in your product descriptions, because what that's going to do is it's going to help seal the deal. So in other words, you get found because of your keywords. You got that beautiful shop clickable image. They click onto it and they look at the description, and if it's just got a few sentences and the measurement, they're probably thinking, oh well, it's just another wreath. But if they read it and say, dang, I do deserve this, I need a house to be, that I want to come home to, I should have a door that my family and friends feel welcomed with, that ties into their emotions and they're more likely to make that sale. It works. I promise that works. All right, so that's what I'm talking about, making sure that you have good descriptions, 300 words, type into their emotions and make sure that you can help them out. How is your product going to help them out with their daily lives? So that was my tip number 8. So tip number 9 for your Etsy shop. If you're just joining us, we're doing Etsy shops. I'm talking about the top 10 mistakes most Etsy shop owners make. Number 9 would be you want to post an image, a product once a day. So if you can make one a day, great, post it. If you can make 5 on Monday and you can't make any of the rest of the week, you want to make 5 on Monday, post 1 on Monday, post 1 on Tuesday, post 1 on Wednesday, post 1 on Thursday. You see the point. You're posting something once a day to get more items in your shop, to get more views on your item. All right. Those people who loved and hearted your shop, guess what? When you post something in your shop, it shows up on their feed. So if you're not posting anything, then they're not seeing it. So even if you don't sell, like let's say, for example, you had a hard week and you couldn't get 5 things made. You only got 3 things made. So you post Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, you're going to renew. Friday, you're going to renew a product that you've already posted, okay? So you just, every day you're doing something to get more activity going on your shop. I want you to get the number of items up, all right? So people always come to me and say, guess what? I can't make any sales. I'm doing the keywords. I got really pretty images. I'm tapping into all the emotions. I don't know. I've got to lower my prices. And I'm like, wait a minute here. Wait a minute. Let me just go see. Let me just go see. And I take a look. And guess what? They got 5 items in their shop. Now, let me ask you, if you were going into a shoe shop, a boutique, looking for those shoes for prom that we were talking about, would you even spend any time in a boutique that had 5 pairs of shoes in it? No. You'd be like, let's leave. This just doesn't feel right. Let's go. They don't have our options. They don't have enough. Buyers want options. They want price point options, they want sizing options, they want color options, they want many, many options. So if you can get your minimum up to 50 items in your Etsy shop, you will have a higher chance of, guess what, making a sale just about every day. I promise you, it works. Get your Etsy items up in your shops. Have many options to offer, different price points, different colors, different seasons, different, holidays. Just get the items that you have in your Etsy shop up so that you can give those buyers more of a chance to be seen. So tip number 10. You want to make products that are multiples. So jewelry makers make more than one pair of earrings. Make these earrings and sell them over and over and over and over and over again. Bath bombs, make them, sell them over and over and over and over and over again. Wreath makers, make one wreath and make multiples of the same wreath. You don't want to just be making one-of-a-kinds. One-of-a-kinds are great, but they don't really help you that much in Etsy shop because Etsy loves it when a buyer goes and buys your item and then it renews and relists again automatically, or maybe you manually do it. You renew the same item. They buy it, and guess what? You renew it again. They buy it, and you renew it again. Etsy loves that. So Etsy shows shops that do that constant renewal, constant selling of the same items, more so in their search results than they do one-of-a-kind designs. So just try to get your items up and make sure to incorporate multiples of the same item to help with that Etsy algorithms. All right, so you guys, those were my top 10 tips. This was just a drop in the bucket of what you could be doing for your Etsy shops. There's many, many, many more things that you could be doing, but these were, to me, I feel like are the top 10 reasons why Etsy shops, people can't get it going in their Etsy shops. I mean, I know there is a lot to do with pricing and, things like that. I mean, just for example, this wasn't even a tip on here. A lot of you feel like you're not getting your sales on your Etsy shops and you drop the price. That is really the worst thing you could do. It's not your prices that's wrong. It's typically your keywords are off, your images aren't good enough, or you're not tapping into a buyer's emotions. Something like that is typically what the problem is. When you drop your price, you're still even hurting yourself even further, because when I go to Etsy and I'm looking for something to buy, the first thing I do, I go to the sort feature and I sort price high to low, because I know in my head, higher means better value. Higher means better quality. Higher priced items mean those shop owners know what they're doing. They're making the sales, and I want to buy from a professional. I mean, this is exactly what a shopper thinks. You can't tell me that you don't shop that way. You can't tell me that when you're shopping that you don't think that low price means low quality. I'm telling you, majority of the people think that way. So when you're taking your price and you're lowering it, you're thinking, why is it not selling? It's basically cost. Well, it's because people think that it's going to be a cheap product. They don't think it's going to be anything valuable. It's not going to be quality. So you have to make sure that you incorporate that into your thinking when you're pricing your items. So I've taught this in my Wreath Making of the Month Club, and one lady said, you know what, I went across the board and I upped the price on everything, and guess what? I started selling. I'm like, yeah, yeah, it works. All right, so you have to be careful that you're not pricing too low. Lower is not better for sales, okay? All right, you guys, I hope you found this useful. Just let me know if you have any questions under this video, but I want to thank you again for joining me, and you guys have a blessed Easter.